Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We will start shortly. His Excellency, the President, General Secretary, and the Prime Minister will be taking their positions on stage shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, can you kindly take your seats? We are about to start today's proceedings. Kindly take your seats, please, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to start today's proceedings. The loudspeakers are Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear us at the back? Yes? Thank you very much for coming out this afternoon. It is a pleasure for us to be here to celebrate the life and legacy of the founding father of this party and by extension the nation. So before we begin, can I kindly ask you to stand for the playing of the national anthem? Thank you very much. Please be seated. Our second item on the program today please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Hugh Hilton Todd, and I'm responsible for Foreign Affairs within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. And I'm very honored this afternoon to be your chairperson. The second item in the program today is the garlanding of our leaders. So we will proceed with that, and then we will go on to the next item. So, students, thank you, students. We will now move on to the laying of the wreaths. So, led by our General Secretary, we will now move to the crematorium so we can lay the wreaths honoring Dr. Cheddi Jagan. Minutes, we can push. Pitch. The next item on the agenda are messages from the Women's Progressive Organization, the Progressive Youth Organization, the Rice Producers Association, as well as the Guyana Agricultural Workers Union. We will go firstly with the Women's Progressive Organization, headed by Ms. Sheila Verasamy, MP. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, comrades. Thank you, Comrade Chair. All protocols observed. We come again at Babu Jaan to remind ourselves of a struggle that was waged a long time ago to bring us where we are today. And the people who started the struggle in this country was no other than Dr. Cheddi Jagan and Comrade Cheddi Jagan. They founded the PPP way back in 1950, and they left a legacy that we cherish to our bones today. Ladies, today, I want to speak to you directly. I want to remind you that you hold up half of the sky, and to speak to you about some of those things that Cheddi Jagan dreamt of way back in the 40s, and that which the PPP is ensuring that we have wings to fly. I want to ask the older generation, comrades, to tell the younger ones about the suffering you endured during that 28 years of PNC dictatorship and rigged elections between 1964 and 1992. People were simply jailed for eating dal and roti, for assembling and for speaking freely. Remember how the PNC destroyed the infrastructure of our country and bankrupt our economy? Every road, every bridge, and all public buildings were falling apart. Do you remember how APNU plus AFC, with the behavior that they had between 1964 to 1992, they tried to use it against us in 2020 period. And they blatantly, in front of the television, in front of the world, tried to rig the 2020 elections. Comrades, it is our duty to ensure that we never allow them to rig another elections in this country. We must stand with our party and our president and our general secretary to build our one Guyana for all of us. We must protect our freedom. We must protect our democracy, and we must fly the flag very high of our People's Progressive Party. Only then, comrades, will we keep the legacy of Cheddi and Janet alive. Comrades, they made many promises to you, and what did they do in Berbice? They closed the sugar estates. They fired many people but what did we do instead? When they fire people, we create jobs. They impose VAT, we removed it. We removed VAT from every single thing that they imposed it on, more than 200 items. They took away the Because We Care cash grant. We restored it and we increased it 5 times. Comrade, they imposed VAT on water and electricity, and they took away the subsidy from our elders. We restored that. Comrade, APNU AFC promised to double the old age pension. They barely gave in 5 years $7,000 to our elders. What did we do? We doubled the old age pension in less than 5 years. Comrades, the PPP civic government has done more for you in 5 years. Mind you, 5 years is not up as yet. And we have done more for you than PNC ever did in its 28 years plus its 5 years. All they know to do is break things, and all we need to do is continue to build this country so that your lives can be easier. Comrades, when we give 98% of this population potable water, women are able to be at home and spend quality time with your children. Comrades, you are our friends, you are our families, and you are our favorites. Together, as family, friends, and favorites of the People's Progressive Party, we need to rally behind the party and restore it to government come year-end so that our beloved president can go ahead and build our one Guyana for all of us. You trusted the PPP in the past, and we value that, and we cherish you for that, and we ask that you continue to trust us in the future. Our General Secretary and Vice President, Dr. Babu Jaan, at the helm of the PPP, will ensure that the Jagan legacy continue to inspire growth and development in our country. Let us continue to work together to build Guyana into a great country. Long live the legacy of Cheddi and Jagan. Long live the WPO, the PYU, GAU, and the PPP. God bless Guyana, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Barasami. We will now have a message from Ms. Sarah Brown. Round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, Comrade Todd. All protocols observed. Comrades all, today I am once again proud to deliver remarks on behalf of the youth arm of our party on this historical occasion where we celebrate the life and the work of former president and founder of our party, Dr. Cheddi Jagan. In the words of Dr. Jagan, and I quote, "We must all remember the lessons of the past as a guide for the management of the present and planning for the future." And today, I wish to touch a little on how far the party of Dr. Jagan has come from a past smeared by poverty, crime, rigged elections, and continuous economic decline, to present where we are on a path of continuous development in all sectors. The Progressive Youth Organization remains very proud of the achievements of our President, Comrade Irfan Ali, and our General Secretary, Dr. Babu Jaan, particularly as it relates to the opportunities available for young people in our country. And when I speak of opportunities for youth, I speak of the hundreds of young people who are first-time homeowners under a robust housing program. I speak of thousands of young people employed under the part-time job program across Guyana, bringing in over $600 million, and that's monthly. I speak of the young people who are now accessing free university education through the University of Guyana or the Gold Online program. I speak of the enhancement or the construction of sporting facilities nationwide, supporting recreational activities for young people so we can be gainfully occupied. I speak of the CSO program where thousands of my fellow Amerindian brothers and sisters are employed under an apprenticeship program, where the sky is the limit for young people in the hinterland who now have access to online training programs since the government has ensured that every single village in the hinterland has free internet connectivity. The PYO acknowledges that the measures in this last budget puts many of us young people in a better position with the universal health care voucher, the support for newborn babies, the direct cash given to us, and the reduction in taxes that allows us to have a better life. But what is more important, my fellow young people, is that we must safeguard this development that could not have been possible if the APNU and AFC had succeeded in stealing our country through rigged elections only a few years ago. We must be wary of the same wolves that now come in sheep clothing, rebranded, but yet the same. We must safeguard our democracy. And as Dr. Jagan said, without democracy, there can be no economic development. And in closing, I want to say that this party is the only democratic party with a proven track record, not only for continued progress, but for bringing unity and peace. And once again, to quote Dr. Jagan, he said, "Our party has been and always will be a multiracial party. Within it, there is room for all. Its leaders come from every racial group, and I call upon the Guyanese of every race and every creed to now rally behind us. Long live our party, long live the legacy of Dr. Jagan." Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sarah Brown, which basically gave you an overview of the continuity based on the legacy left by Dr. Cheddi Jagan. This is the People's Progressive Party, one that believes in the upliftment of the ordinary man. So let's move on to Mr. Lekra Rambridge from the Rice Producers Association. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Chairman. All protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, a special good afternoon to everyone. The Rice Producers Association of Guyana take this opportunity to salute and determine the fighting spirit of the late Dr. Cheddi Jagan, whose relentless struggle through his political life led to the betterment of all Guyanese. He championed the cause of all people and our country. We, the people, are fortunate to have a leader like him. He was a simple and visionary man who also led the struggle for independence and broke the shackle of colonialism. His distinct style and unwavering support through direct involvement with workers, including those in the rice industry, led to a better understanding of the challenges, which allowed him to make practical and meaningful intervention. His style has become a legacy as we see today through our General Secretary, Comrade Jagdeo, and our Honorable President, Comrade Fanali, our party leaders who are always out in the field, meeting with people and listen and address their concern. As it relates to the rice industry, Dr. Jagan and the PPP have and continue to give strength and support in all times, good and bad, in opposition and in government. This is how you know when people care. As I stand here today, there can be no dispute that Dr. Jagan and the PPP that he founded is founded in the care of all people then and now. Rice is our staple food. I enjoy and employed thousands of hard-working farmers in this country. This industry, when in challenge, whether it is price, market, seed paddy, drainage and irrigation, fertilizer, equipment, etc. But Dr. Jagan and the PVP, through the party history, Comrade Jagdeo and Comrade Irfan, have been and have stayed with us, helping to solve our problem in the rice industry. This is a legacy of Dr. Jagan, to be with the people, help the people, and to make their lives better. This is the difference between Dr. Jagan and the party and the opposition. When Granger was in team or in government, in opposition, sorry, they promised the farmers high paddy price, over $9,000 a bag. And when he became the president, his government and himself said that rice is a private business and the government leave the farmers on their own struggle. What he didn't understand, Granger didn't understand in his party, is that the industry, that when the rice industry is in trouble, our people are also faced with challenges. When we are in trouble, jobs can be lost. Hardworking people are made to feel the blunt of unemployment. This is because they don't understand the rice industry. It shows clearly that the opposition never understand the rice industry. This is because they don't spend time in the field with workers, so they became easy for them to make all kinds of statements without understanding how important the rice industry is to Guyana and the Guyanese people. Today, ongoing support of the PPP, production has increased, and this is no secret. Quality has increased as well. We have been producing higher quality paddy and rice. Increase in assistance has also been increased to fertilizer, grants, drainage and irrigation, and reduced taxes on equipment, just to mention a few that the government has been doing and supporting the rice sector. This demonstrates a care, as stated by Dr. Jagan, and in faithfully being carried out by our leaders after him and those here today. This is a demonstration of a positive legacy of Dr. Jagan, a man who had dedicated his life for betterment of our people, for our workers. This is the legacy that we can boast about and which we are celebrating today. This is a legacy that we can all be inspired from, a legacy that will live on. The RPA once again salute the legacy of Dr. Jagan. Come later this year, we have to protect the democracy of this country, and we should continue to support the party and uphold the democracy of Guyana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramraj. Just a background note for those of you here. The 4 organizations that just delivered messages are all allied to the People's Progressive Party, and that shows the diversity of the People's Progressive Party in terms of reaching to the grassroots, to lifting lives of the ordinary man and paying attention to even those small pockets that require attention. And that is the comprehensive nature of the People's Progressive Party Civic. So thank you very much for the organizations represented here today, and please give them another round of applause. Sorry, my bad. We have one other presenter coming from the Ghana Agricultural Workers Union, my brother, Mr. C. Paul Narayan. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Comrade Chairman, His Excellency the President, Comrade Vice President, Prime Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today we gather to pay tribute to an icon in our nation's history, a man whose contribution to the development of Guyana and the advancement of the working class are etched in the annals of our history. We honor the legacy of Dr. Cheddi Jagan, former President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and former Honorary President and founder of the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union. Today, 28 years after his passing, this nation stands on the shoulders of a giant whose life was a symbol of unwavering commitment to the betterment of the Guyanese people. His dedication to the principles of social justice, equality, and the upliftment of the oppressed will forever be an inspiration to us all. Dr. Jagan's relationship with Gau was not one of mere formality. He was steadfast in the fight for workers' rights, and under his leadership, the principles of trade unionism in Guyana were given a voice. As honorary president of GAU, Dr. Jagan offered guidance, counsel, and most unwavering moral support in the face of many adversities. Comrades, GAU was born from Jagan's unyielding belief that unity is power. He rallied workers in this region to demand fair wages, safe conditions, and respect. Today, we inherit that legacy. Today, we are proud to celebrate a historic achievement, the first multi-year agreement between GAU and Gaisuku. This agreement is not merely ink on paper. It is a firm commitment of stability for thousands of workers, guaranteeing job security, improved wages, and vital investments in the sugar industry, which remains the lifeblood of communities across Berbice and beyond. This agreement, comrades, could only have been possible under this government because, like Cheddi Jagan, our leaders care about the lives of the ordinary people. Dr. Jagan's legacy as the major influencer of modern labor movement in Guyana is indelible. His passion for the protection of workers' rights was evident in his tireless effort to improve the working conditions of our people. He fought for fair wages, the right to organize, and the right to a better health care, education, and a dignified life. He understood that the freedom of a nation is not solely political, but also economic. He believed that a truly independent nation could only emerge when its people, especially workers, were empowered to control their destinies. But Dr. Jagan was not merely just a political figure. He was a visionary who understood the importance of education, unity, and self-determination. His steadfast commitment to these values shaped the trajectory of our nation and set a standard for future leaders to follow. Indeed, the current leaders of the PPPC, particularly our General Secretary, Dr. Babu Jaan, and His Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, have remained true to the teachings and ideals set forth by Dr. Jagan. Dr. Jagan's contribution to our people has shaped the course of Guyana's history and continues to play a pivotal role in our collective journey towards progress and prosperity. Today, comrades, the PPP remains staunch in its unwavering vision to fight for the rights, dignity, and freedom of all the people of Guyana. As we observe the 75th anniversary of the PPP and celebrate the life of Dr. Jagan, we must remember the hardship he endured, including imprisonment by the colonial rulers. But through it all, he remained resolute, and his vision for a more, better, equitable Guyana inspired many towards a fair and just society. Though Dr. Jagan is no longer with us in person, he will always be in spirit. His vision and the work he started for a better Guyana is being continued under the leadership of Vice President Dr. Jagdeo and His Excellency Dr. Ali. On behalf of the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union, we are forever grateful for the leadership, courage, and tireless advocacy that Dr. Jagan provided. He will continue to be always our beacon of inspiration. I thank you very much, comrades.
Thank you very much, Mr. Narayan. We will now be entertained by a session of drumming. So let us bring on our drummers. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you very much, drummers. That was a fantastic fusion. We're now moving to the second segment of this afternoon's proceedings. I would like you all to give a solid welcome to our next speaker, a man who has given his entire life of service to this country, well known to everyone here today. We want to welcome with a round of applause our Prime Minister, your Prime Minister, this country's Prime Minister, retired Brigadier Mark Phillips, the real brigadier. Let me hear you say, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Comrade Irfan, Comrade Barrett, Comrade Donald, all the comrades this afternoon, good day. Today is an important day for all of us. Isn't that so? You know, we had the fusion of the drums. The drums tell a story of national unity. That is the story of the drums just now. Do you agree with me? And you know, when we sat on the stage, that's after moving around and reaching everybody, I marveled. I commented to His Excellency that we have a larger crowd today. Isn't that so? And you know, when we have gatherings like this, unlike the other side, the opposition, we don't want the cameras just to focus on the stage. The cameras must do a roving camera and show the entire nation and the entire world the crowd that is assembled here today to pay homage to Dr. Cheddi Jagan, the legacy of Dr. Cheddi Jagan, who remains our guiding light as we manage the affairs of this country. Isn't that so? And you know, later in my speech I will talk again about it. But today, assembled, and indeed the camera must do their work, guidees from all walks of life, all races, all religion, all orientation are assembled here today. And that would have made Dr. Jagan proud. He would be happy, had he been alive today, to celebrate his 107th birthday, to see the assembled here today. Isn't that so, comrades? Say it loud, clap, let them hear. And you know why I want you to clap, let them hear? Because this is crucial times for us. This is an election year. And we have to remain focused. The only guidance I'm giving in my speech is that I have to say what I want to say, but stay within the time limit. So I will stay within the time limit. Comrades, we must leave here today understanding 7 important points from the legacy of our visionary leader, Dr. Cheddi Jagan. The first point, democracy and political freedom. Dr. Jagan was a firm believer in democracy and the rights of citizens to freely participate in the political process. Very important, because many of you, I know, are subjected to abuse by many of the leaders of the opposition because you choose to support the PPP. And you must tell them, you see what I'm wearing here? We have broken the bonds. We have broken the bonds that held people in bondage. We are free today. We are free in every aspect of the word of freedom today. And you have a right. You have the freedom to exercise your democratic right to support the PPPC. That is what Dr. Jagan stood for. Dr. Jagan also stood for many, many other things that you're enjoying today. The next one, education and empowerment. Some of the speakers talked about it before. Dr. Jagan was the one who set up the first national university here in Guyana in 1963. At a time when we had doubters who felt that we should have a university. That university is still standing, and many of our leaders, including myself, are graduates of that university. These are the things we must remember.
Universal secondary education was started by Dr. Jagan. And today, after a series of economic challenges, our government has returned us to universal education from nursery to university. So nursery, secondary, and university education. Economic independence, the third aspect, and development. It was the long-standing belief of Dr. Jagan that Guyana's economy should be diversified, moving away from its reliance on a few sectors like sugar and bauxite. He advocated for the industrialization and the development of agriculture, such as rice and livestock, agro-processing, to promote national self-sufficiency. Dr. Jagan, with this diversification, our economic strategy is aimed at reducing dependence on natural resources and create local linkages and productive employment. Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, in his government, continue emphasizing the significance of this strategy in the face of global economic shocks and global policy changes. Our government today didn't only plan, but is actively utilizing the revenue from oil and gas to diversify our economy and invest in our human capital. So, One Guyana is not just a catchword. It is guiding our development of both the people of Guyana and the whole infrastructure of Guyana. So when we talk about One Guyana, we're very serious of bringing development to every Guyanese, in every community, in every village, in every town, in every region, and throughout the length and breadth of Guyana. That is what we're talking about. When we talk about shared prosperity, every Guyanese will benefit from the revenues garnered by our nation. That is the legacy that we follow of Dr. Jagan. Social justice and equity. Again, Dr. Jagan was committed to improving the standard of living of all Guyanese, particularly the poor and the working class. Today, the poor and the working class are house owners in Guyana. They have equity, they have cargage, they have documents that they could go to the bank, any lending agencies, and do business because they're house owners. That is something that we achieved and we must cherish as a people. Dr. Jagan, in his anti-colonial and anti-imperial stance, also committed to ensuring that Guyana remain politically sovereign and free from the influence of foreign powers. As a government, we are taking that seriously today. Many of the fly-by-night academics, and some of them who should have been retired a long time ago, are today accusing us of not funding our security forces. But we must remember what happened between 2015 and 2020 when they defunded and demoralized our security forces. We have changed that today. In keeping with the legacy of Dr. Jagan, that all sectors of our economy must benefit and sovereignty of our nation must at all times be upheld. Equality for all Guyanese. He sought to create a more egalitarian society where he believed that the wealth of the nation should be redistributed to the working class with a focus on welfare of the working class. Ladies and gentlemen, we are building hospitals for free medical services to all the people of Guyana. We're building schools, primary and secondary schools, for free education to all our children. We're building infrastructure, not only to attract foreign direct investment, but to improve the lives and livelihood of all of you here. You go to your streets, in your villages, some of the roads were dirt roads, some were sand. During the rainy summer tracks, during the rainy season, you had to deal with mud. During the dry season, you have to deal with dust in your nose. Today, you have concrete roads, you have asphalted roads, and that will continue until every community gets the roads and services that they need. I think that's not all in terms of bringing social justice, equity, and unity for our people and freedom in Guyana. Dr. Jagan had a profile on the international stage with his new global human order, which was adopted by the General Assembly of the United Nations on November the 24th, 2000. The new global human order promotes a global partnership for peace and development. It calls for mutual respect, democratic governance, and popular participation to address development challenges, eradicate poverty, and reduce disparities within and among countries. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the things that we enjoy today, all as a result of the legacy of Dr. Jagan. And these are the things that we'll continue to struggle on the international scene to ensure many other countries have similar benefits for their people. Very important. But you know what? The struggle is real and the struggle continues. Don't let us fall into some false sense of security. The powers that be, the opposing forces, are continuing to fight to wrest power from you, who ensure that you democratically elected the PPPC to government. You know, one time they talk about barometrics, and then when they're told that we already have barometrics, it's now talking about enhanced barometrics. You know, so from one thing to the other, they're struggling to wrest power, but we know what happened. We created a framework for democracy to prevail in Guyana. They won the elections in 2015. They ruled from 2015 to 2020, and they took this country backwards in all regards, including the democratic progress that we made. Because they lost the election in 2020, and for 5 months they held on to power illegally. But we put up a fight, and you know what? That fight remains real, as I said before, because the destructive forces are at it again with many disruptive actions as we lead up to our elections. So we have to remain firm. We have to remain focused in terms of our defense of democracy in Guyana. Very important. And our youths, and I'm happy that many of our youths are here, you have an important role to play. We will facilitate activities and opportunities for youth empowerment, but the youth must take their position in leadership, in development, and in the struggle to defend democracy in Guyana. Very important. So youths don't stay in the background. You could continue your education, benefit from all the free opportunities, but you have an active role in defending democracy in Guyana, in keeping with the legacy of Dr. Jagan. Today in Guyana, women, indigenous people, our youth all play an active role in politics at all levels, the local, the regional, and the national level. And this is one thing that Dr. Jagan would be proud of, that our General Secretary has ensured that this happens, and happens in a real sense, for all Guyana to benefit and to participate in the development of Guyana. Citizen participation is very important for us as we pursue and deepen this democratic path. Very important. And again, thanks to our General Secretary for his leadership in that regard. The PPPC today remains the only national political party where you have women, you have indigenous people, you have African Guyanese, you have youth, and you have the aged like myself in leadership position. A round of applause to that. Somebody mentioned that age is experience. I'll take that. However, we must ever be vigilant in our efforts to defend democracy and the will of the people. Very important. We must not forget what happened between 1968 and 1992, the years of struggle by Dr. Jagan, who at no time decided that he will withdraw or he will retire. He struggled until the end, and in 1992, we saw the return of democracy in Guyana. That itself is a lesson for us not to become complacent, not to give up this struggle. Very important. And with the leadership of Dr. Babu Jaan and Dr. Irfan Ali, we will continue this struggle. We will continue to provide dynamic leadership to Guyana. Dynamic leadership is important because we operate in an ever-changing environment. The contemporary operating environment in Guyana today is one of changes, and from time to time, we have to go back to the drawing board and come up with new solutions to the current problem. But at all times, people, I want to assure you that we remain guided by the visionary policies and principles announced by Dr. Cheddi Jagan many, many years ago. Comrades, we are fighting men and fighting women. Are you ready to continue to fight? Are you ready to continue to fight to defend democracy, to defend the sovereignty of Guyana, to ensure that social justice continue in our country, to ensure that development comes to every community in our country? That is what we would like to lead, and that is what we would like you to accompany us in. Very important. I think my time is running out. But you know what? Let us not give up the fight. Let us fight against racism. Let us fight against division in our communities. Let us fight against corruption. And let us continue to keep the vision of Dr. Cheddi Jagan alive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear Prime Minister. As we continue to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Cheddi Jagan, we will now listen to a few excerpts from his writings. As you know, he was a prolific writer and teacher and leader. So please, let's welcome our students who will be reciting some of the excerpts. Thank you very much. Please give them a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is truly an honor to stand here before you to celebrate the life of our very own Dr. Cheddi Jagan. I extend a warm welcome to His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, the beloved President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. His Excellency Dr. Babu Jaan, the esteemed Vice President of Guyana, the Honorable Brigadier Mark Anthony Phillips, Prime Minister of Guyana, distinguished ministers of the Cabinet, members of the National Assembly, esteemed guests, and all those in attendance. Your presence here today is a testament to the importance of this occasion, and we are grateful for the time you have taken to join us. My name is Carissa Sinarain, a diligent student from the J.C. Chandi Singh Secondary School. Today, myself and my fellow schoolmates will take the privilege in reciting quotes that was said by our very own, the memorable Dr. Cheddi Jagan. Without his commitment and dedication, Guyana would have not become the Guyana we know today, for he has left a great impact on us. On June 6, 1964, he said, and I quote, "I know that there are many fearmongers who go among you and try to influence you emotionally. Some go amongst the Indo-Guyanese and say that I am sacrificing them and wooing and embracing the Afro-Guyanese. Others go amongst the Afro-Guyanese and tell them that my government is an Indian government, that because of racial considerations, it does everything for the country and little for the city, that the Indo-Guyanese owns the land, real estate, and dominate business, and that if the Afro-Guyanese do not get together, they will soon lose even their jobs. In this way, I am caught in the crossfire. Needless to say, my government cannot be for and against Indo-Guyanese, for and against Afro-Guyanese at the same time. All this propaganda is meant to build up fears in your minds. Thank you.
Good afternoon, comrades all. Greetings from the People's Progressive Party. My name is Kelly Dinanat, and I am a student of Tagore High School. My job is to read an excerpt from the West On Trial, and I quote, "Those who see only race, ethnicity in politics in Guyana as others who see tribalism and religion in other countries are not viewing reality comprehensively, objectively, and scientifically. In Guyana, because of the strong foreign monopoly domination by the sugar plantocracy, the class struggle was more intense, and although the two major racial ethnic groups are culturally different, they are not unique class and class different as formerly the case in the colonial period in East Africa. Both groups are largely made up of working people. As such, the PPP Civic, with its working class sympathy and policies oriented to material and cultural fulfillment, can lay the foundation for unity in diversity." 1966, unquote. Long live the PPP, long live Cheddi Jagan Party. Thank you.
Good afternoon. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of Guyana. His Excellency Babu Jaan, Vice President of Guyana. Honorable Brigadier, currently retired Mark Phillips, Prime Minister of Guyana. Esteemed Ministers of the Cabinet, Honorable Ministers of the National Assembly, and citizens of the general public. My name is Nathan Laker, and I'm from the prestigious school of J.C. Chandy Singh Secondary. According to the late Dr. Cheddi Jagan, I quote, "We see development as people-centered. When some speak of development, we see only foreign capital and private investment. We also see capital and human resources. When we talk of development, we mean development with a human face. For some people, humans come first. They are the center of everything, and education is important for their all-round holistic development. By people, we mean all the people of this country across the barriers of race, ethnicity, religion, gender, and political affiliation, whether they live in the hinterland or on the coastals, whether they are able-bodied or handicapped, rich or poor." Quoted on March 14, 1993. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, His Honorable Babu Jaan, Vice President of Guyana, Honorable Brigadier Mark Phillips, Prime Minister of Guyana, esteemed Ministers of the Cabinet, honorable members of the National Assembly, and our valued special invitees, all protocols observed. My name is Claire Snurring, a business student of the J.C. Chandy Singh Secondary School, and I am deeply honored to address to you this afternoon in our beautiful nation, Guyana. I will be reciting a compelling quote from the West On Trials, a work that holds immense significance to Guyana's history and journey. It is my hope that the words I will share will inspire a reflection on the values and visions that continue to shape our nation's path forward. And I quote, "Those who say that we are irrelevant, that we are finished, should be reminded the same tune was sung after the dark days following the rape of our Constitution in 1953, and the breakaway by right and left opportunists in 1955 and in 1956. But we won in 1957 and 1961. Today, though defrauded and cheated, we remain the strongest force in the country. Difficulties there will be, but the battle will be long and hard. But we will win again. History and time are on our side. 1956 from the West on trials. End of quote. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear students. We now come to very important agenda item here. I want you to all stand and help me welcome His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali.
Thank you. Thank you very much, comrades. Comrades, if you want to see a physical demonstration of the resilience of the People's Progressive Party, there is a comrade here. I just told the General Secretary a few weeks ago, she called me and she said, "Comrade, I'm on my way home." I said, "Which home?" She said, "The great beyond." And today, I sat up here and I tell the General Secretary, "Look, Sherry is here. Sherry, stand up and show them how you're strong." Back on track and strong again. Earlier, as I walked through this huge gathering of the family of the People's Progressive Party, a few persons touched me and they said, "We are back home." And a few touched me and said, "I am here now." To both groups, we say, "Welcome home. This is where you belong." And to those who have embraced us now for the first time, we say to them, "Welcome to the strongest family, the People's Progressive Party family." My friends, all of you here are testimony to one fact. You are not fair weather family members of the People's Progressive Party. You are there in the hard times, the good times, the challenging times, and you will always be there for the People's Progressive Party. There are some who love to call on the name of Dr. Jagan, and they do so selfishly because they believe by calling upon his name, it gives them a special entrance into the hearts of the fair and free-minded people of our country. But the true legends of the PPP are those who are on the ground working every day to ensure that this party remains strong, to ensure that the philosophy of this party remains strong. When we come here, we are not celebrating the stage. We are celebrating your labor of love and hard work that keep the memory of Dr. Jagan, the legendary work of Dr. Jagan alive. Today, our party is stronger than ever before. I won't say that our party is in its strongest position, but I would say, without fear of contradiction, that our party is stronger today than any other time in the history of our country. And I know that Dr. Jagan would be proud to know that his party today is stronger than the day it was founded, and this is because of all of you and your work. But the strength of our party lies in its leadership. Today, whilst I honor some of our leaders, many of our leaders here from the party and in the cabinet, our former President and General Secretary, Comrade Donald, Berry, Comrade Nocta, Leslie, all the comrades, Jenny. Today, all of us must be conscious and aware that we have a General Secretary today that has taken our party to higher heights. His leadership, his commitment, his strength of character, and his unshakable stand in protecting the integrity of the party must never be taken for granted. Today, one of the great blessings of this party is in the choices we have made in our prime ministers. The legendary Comrade Samuel Hines. Put your hands together for him because I know he's listening. Passing the baton when we contested with a legendary woman who has given all her life to this country, Elizabeth Harper, as our prime ministerial candidate. And now, retired Brigadier Mark Phillips. You listen to him and you understand why he was drawn to the PPP. Because fundamentally, his philosophy and his thinking is about the people, for the people, with the people. That is what underpins his philosophy. Today, as I look across this beautiful gathering of Guyanese, you cannot help but notice that all of Guyana is represented in all of us here today. These images will send chills down their spine. But these young people reminded us every time the PPP is in government, or whether we're in opposition, there is a coalition of forces that try to misguide our people. Sometimes those forces are nourished from within and they grow and go on the outside. I saw a very funny social media post from one of them. Imagine who betrayed Dr. Jagan. Put up a social media post. This one is for you, Pa. I don't want to mention this guy's name. He's completely absent from society today. And then, as the young people told us, there will be those who will try to divide us by race. And when they fail, they will try to divide us by religion. And when they fail, they will try to divide us by bringing together their collective ambition. And the young people reminded us that they will come and try to appeal to our emotions. But be wary, for even recently, we learned the lesson of these people. We must be conscious about our political environment. We must be conscious about our future. We must be conscious of the values that we represent. If one believes that they can make a contribution to the PPP, and by making such a contribution, the PPP must defend every wrongdoing or any wrongdoing, they are mistaken. That is not the philosophy of the People's Progressive Party. That is why fundamentally, when you become a member of this movement, you are volunteering your labor of love to country and to party. This party cannot be bought or sold or traded. That is not the philosophy of this party. We can never be bought or sold or traded. We are connected to the people of this country. This party is owned by the people of this country. This party is owned by the men and women and children of this country who embrace a philosophy of freedom, democracy, unity. Those are the owners of this party. So comrades, let us raise our voices, wave our flags, and applaud in tribute to Comrade Cheddi Jagan. Let me hear you. Give a resounding round of applause. Dr. Jagan remains our source of inspiration. His greatest gift to us was not just his vision or his sacrifices, but the greatest gift was this mighty party that belongs to all of us. The People's Progressive Party. The party he entrusted to us. The party that has never wavered in its commitment to the people of our country. Cheddi's legacy is vast. His contributions, too many to count. But today, let me remind you of two profound lessons he left. First, he taught us the meaning of development, not empty words or false promises, but tangible progress. For Cheddi, development was about people. It was about ensuring that every child had a future, that every farmer had land to till, and every worker had dignity in labor. And that, comrades, is exactly what we are doing today. You know, I was saying to some young people when we campaigned and we said we wanted people to retire in dignity, I explained to them what we meant. And let me give you a simple example of what we meant. Today, a head teacher from a nursery school, retiring with a salary, let us say, of $350,000 to $400,000, depending on what grade of school, would retire with a pension close to $200,000. Then they will get NIS at the maximum scale, which is about $160,000. And when they achieve old age, they will get $41,000. That pensioner would be receiving more money at pension than when they were at employment. And that is because of the progressive increases in salaries that the People's Progressive Party would have given to workers. And every category of workers. And that is what we mean when we say you will retire in dignity. And I recently said, for our men and women in uniform, we are working. We have also addressed their salary scale. our nurses, our doctors. All of them will not only benefit now in the immediate time, but would also be in a better position upon retirement, and thereby fulfilling our commitment of ensuring people retire in dignity. Comrades, today I don't want to be too long. Thank you, Sherry. But I'll take some time. You know, I want to speak a bit about national development. But because we're in Region 6, I want to give some specific examples of Region 6. And when we go to every single region, as we do, I will tell the same story of every region in your region. Now, comrades, if you save in more money, or you have more money to put in your bank account, you're not better off? Are you better off? Good. Well, let me tell you the story of Region 6 alone. According to the Bank of Guyana, deposits in the commercial bank at Region 6 between 2019 and today, as I speak to you, grew by 72%, from 61.8 billion to 106.2. What that tells you? It tells you today that people have more disposable income, that people are better off, that the economy is better, that productivity has increased, and life is better here in Guyana, and Region 6 is no exception. My friends, since returning to office, we have rehired here in Region 6 1,055 workers at Rose Hall. Across the country, we now employ 4,556 persons, Gaisuku, 45% more than 2019. From 2022 to 2025, under the Pathway program in this region alone, we have employed 4,000 new persons, most of whom are women, who never participated in the workforce. As a result of employing those 4,000 women, today, those 4,000 persons, today, an additional $5.8 billion was made available to those families and here in Region 6. These are the developments. These are the things that would enhance household prosperity, community prosperity. These are the things that are uplifting our people out of poverty. In agriculture, across the country, we have spent more than $220 billion. And I don't need to remind you about what the APNU AFC did to agriculture, what they did to sugar, what they did to rice, what they did to public servants. You can be easily reminded. But comrades, since returning to office, more than $219 billion. We have invested in agriculture. Here in Region 6 alone, we've invested almost $20 billion every year to secure the livelihood of our farmers, investing in drainage and irrigation, investing in opening up new lands so we can expand production. The investment in agriculture in this region is almost 5 times what the APNU AFC invested in their 5 years of government. Isn't this commitment? We stand to lose all of this if we lose our political consciousness, if we lose our conscience, if we become trapped by the naysayers and the doom players, as fancy as they may come. Understand, whilst the PPP Civic makes these results look easy, it's not easy. It comes from sleepless night, hard work every single day whilst we're in office. My friends, and because of the government investment in agriculture, confidence in financing agriculture project grew. And as a result, investment, credit to agriculture in this region grew 3 times, from less than $12 billion in 2019 to almost $30 billion. That is credit from the private sector, credit from the banks. My friends, I'm not going to remind you about the almost 1,500 farmers who benefited from more than 70,000 bags of fertilizer, or the hundreds of farmers who benefited from the seed party, or the almost 2,000 fisherfolk who benefited from capital investment, or the 700 plus farmers who benefited from the flood relief in this region. I'm not going to tell you about them because we have thousands of examples of policies that would have directly benefited families. We are not seasonal in our approach to development. We are your constant. We are your everyday. We are your reliable partner. And we are your relentless fighter, the People's Progressive Party Civic. When the sugar estates were closed, who was on the front line? Which party was on the front line, side by side with Gawu, marching? Don't forget that. Who was on the front line with the rice farmers when they tried to take away Red House in Georgetown that holds the memory and work of Dr. Jagan? Who was on the front line, led by our General Secretary? These things are easily to forget. But always remember, in the most difficult of times in this country, regardless of how harsh the environment was, it is the People's Progressive Party Civic that remain on the front line. And that is where we will remain, your constant partner. When we look at rice, the RPA reminded you about the promise of 9,000 per bag. And instead what you got? Increased land rent, increased lease fee by thousands of %, VAT added on your chemical and fertilizer and inputs. Cost of production went up by almost 63%. And some of those who parade about the place saying they're representing rice farmers, ask yourself, where were these people? They were happy because in their businesses, they were finding crafty ways of profiteering. Where were them? Today, we are back in office, and what did you see? Rice production is at its highest ever in the history of our country. Between $4,000 and $4,800 per bag. This crop, the international market collapsed. The prices. We didn't hide. What did we do? We stood by the farmers and we placed a subsidy that would ensure they get at least $4,000 per bag. This is billions of dollars of additional support. Additional support that does not only benefit the rice farmers and keep the rice industry alive, but it benefits the vendors in the market. It benefits the children of the rice farmers that go to school. Because we know when we were in opposition between 2015 and 2019, 2020, we went to many communities here and across the country, whether it's in bauxite, rice, or sugar. And what did we hear? We are taking our children out of school because we can't afford to keep them in school. We don't have money to buy sneakers for our children. No textbooks in the school. No exercise books in the school. No book bag. That is not long ago. That is just 5 years ago. The BBC did a program on this. Today, lest you forget, it is this government that came back and right those wrongs. Life and development is not about a seasonal gift. It's not about a seasonal gift. It's about hard, tireless work. Hard, tireless work. It is not opportunistic. It is never opportunistic. It is about full commitment. It's about sacrifice. The stories of our leaders are never told. We have leaders of international caliber. But instead of going after personal gains, they stay here even after their time of service, committed to our party and committed to our people. That is the leadership that matters. My friends, if you look at the fisheries sector output increased across the country by more than 260%. But in this region, when the General Secretary came in 2020 and he met with the fisher folks, he came back and said there's an opportunity for an innovative project. And that innovative project was to convert the swamp land, to invest in the equipment, to convert those swamp land to produce brackish water shrimp. When we announced it, the cynics in society were ready to criticize. But today, that project that we invested hundreds of millions of dollars in would have increased production of shrimp in this region by 700%. Putting more money in the pockets of our fisher folk and their families. That is why they can save more. Go across the region. You will see everybody improving their homes, improving their yard, building a fence, extending their home, building new homes. Why? Why? Because the environment is conducive for them to do so. Because development is giving them the opportunity to do so. I'm not going to remind you about the 500 acres of pasture land that we developed for our livestock farmers. I'm not going to remind you about the hundreds of kilometers of farm to market access road that we've already completed, opening up thousands of acres of land. I'm not going to remind you about that. Even in Oriala and Siparuta, you've invested in developing hundreds of acres of land for food production and agriculture. In the health sector, we've invested more than $53.9 billion in Region 6 alone. The new Amsterdam state-of-the-art hospital, our investment in healthcare is almost 9 times more than that of the AP and UAFC government in their 5 years. The regional hospitals, let us look at one example right in Port Moran. The National Ophthalmology Hospital. This hospital that came into existence long before oil by our General Secretary when he was president, providing service for patients in Guyana, Suriname, and the rest of the Caribbean. When we came into government, when we left government, the APNU AFC government shut that hospital down. Denying people for 5 years of important surgeries, cataract surgeries. And those who required any treatment had to find $400,000 for that treatment. You forgot this. They reached free. They found oil. And they placed a cost of $400,000 for everyone who wanted that treatment. What did we do? We came back in office. Immediately, we reopened that center, invested in it, and we cleared the more than 3,000 backlog of cases from around the country. And as I speak to you today, that hospital would have completed almost 8,500 surgeries since we reopened it. Those persons would have had to find $3.2 billion to pay for this surgery that they received free of cost under the PPP Civic if the APNU AFC was in government. 3 point, or yes, they would have lost their sight. If they couldn't find the money, imagine that. These are the things that we don't see because it's not a road, it is not a school, it is not a building. But this is a policy that saved poor families $3.2 billion. My friends, look at the New Amsterdam Hospital. Yes, we have challenges there, and we have to fix them. That is why we are building a new hospital. We're training more nurses and doctors. We are not the party that hide from challenges. We confront challenges in the interest of the people. That is what we do. But with all its challenges, in that hospital, we are able to do more than 6,500 surgeries, 6,500 surgeries. That is more than 40% of surgeries it was capable of doing in 2019. And I'm just giving you a few examples. I'm not going to the health centers where no medication was available. I'm not even telling you about a dialysis program where everyone with dialysis gets a check. I'm just giving you a few examples. In education, $13.5 billion we invested in this region alone to give you world-class education. In the last 4+ years alone, you have received, your children have received a direct transfer of almost $5.5 billion under the Because We Care grant. This is a grant we had before oil. They came, got oil, and took away the grant. We brought back that grant and now made it beyond our manifesto promise, $50,000 per child. When we came in opposition, we heard parents complain about having to buy chalk to send to the school. And we said this must stop. And we launched a national school grant, where a grant is given to every single school to ensure that they have the money to buy these learning aid and supplies. In this region alone, almost $800 million in national school grant was placed in every single school. Billions of dollars on the maintenance of school. Textbooks. Between 2015 and 2019, less than 20% textbook availability was in the education system. Today, we have almost 90% textbook availability in the school system. These are things you don't see in a structure, but you see it in the results of our children. It is the future that is being built stronger. My friends, I'm not going to tell you about the support to the school meals program. I'm not going to tell you about the almost 3,000 gold scholarship. I'm not going to tell you about the more than 6,500 public servants in this region alone who benefit from training. I'm not going to tell you about the more than 2,500 young people who benefit from the TVET training. I'm not going to remind you about all of that. I'm not going to tell you about the thousands of kilometers of roads, community roads we have done, the billions we have spent. I'm not going to remind you about a Hope-like canal that is under construction. I am not going to remind you about the more than 200 kilometers of drainage and irrigation that we did. But I want to tell you something. I will give you a simple stats. In 2019, and I want you to listen carefully because this is one of their big propaganda. In 2019, all the projects that was done in this region was executed by 43 contractors. Listen to this. Under the APNU AFC, all the projects that was done in this region was executed by 43 contractors. Today, we have engaged in this region alone more than 1,132 contractors. From 43 to 1,132. You don't hear about this? This is the reality. Almost 25 times more. I'm not going to remind you about housing or water. In one investment alone, the new water treatment at Adventure, more than 18,000 residents will get treated water. This is results that we are proud of. We can come up here and speak all day and night about our results and defend our policy. Not one single day can the AP and your AFC defend their policy or defend their time in government. I'm not going to remind you about the old age pension, which increased by more than 100% since we came into government, to the extent now that everybody from overseas want to ensure that they get in this pension. Because it is valuable now. It's 200 US every month, you know. 2,400 a year. US dollars. Back in the days, just wait for your family send a $200, $100, or $50. Now they want to come collect the 200. My friends, I am not going to remind you about all of the development. But we are always true. And the time is going to come when we will speak about our plans. And when we will give account for all the promises and commitments we made in the manifesto. And we will stand proudly because we have exceeded every single commitment in the manifesto. We are not about power. We are about responsibility. That is what we want government for. Because we take our responsibility seriously. And my friends, let me just give you a taste of what you will put at risk if you are not politically conscious. And this is just a taste. A brief overview of the plans in train and ahead for Region 6. I'm leaving Region 5, crossing the Berbice River on a new 4-lane high bridge, just like the Demerara Bridge. I'm entering New Amsterdam, not only the synthetic track, but a new hospital, a new medical school. And then driving off on a new 4-lane road all the way to Mollison Creek, the upgraded road into Kanji. I'm going to fly to Timeri from the new municipal airport at Rose Hall. I'm passing Palmyra to the hotels, malls, new private hospital, to the new stadium, to tens of thousands of new homes, to supermarket, to entertainment sector. I drive past Palmyra on the beautiful 4-lane highway, lit up at night, looking at the expansive land with infrastructure, technology to up food production. I'm passing all the brand new markets, upgraded markets. I then forgot So I turned back. And there as I turned back, the new National Deep Water Port, the new gas development, the industrial hub, logistics hub. This is jobs, investment, opportunity, value. The new digital school. And oh yes, I passed the steaming noise of functional sugar estates, working sugar estates. I then passed Port Morant with the development hub. The hard surface road linking Oriala Siparuta with a quarantine. The new Quarantine River Bridge. The new commercial hub along that river bridge. The opening up of land, expanding production, productivity, and opportunity. Not forgetting the National Skills Training Center that will be training people from around the world. The National Hospitality Institute. Empowerment, development, a future that is bright and beautiful. An amazing story ahead of us. But you can lose all of this if you lose your political consciousness. You put all of this at risk if you fall prey to the spineless. Every force against us is one of the same evil force, the APNU AFC force. Make no mistake. They will use individuals. Yes, different clothes. That is why our color is the color of the human blood, red. Regardless of how you look, regardless of where you're from, you have the same red blood. You have in you the color of the People's Progressive Party. And just as blood is important to life, the PPP is important to development in Guyana. I have brushed slightly my allocated time. But I want to leave by giving you one message. We did not even commit this to you in the elections. But last year, we said that we are going to make the crossing at the Wisma, Demerara, and Barbies Bridge free of cost. We're going to remove the toll. I want to say to you today, as we celebrate the remarkable legacy of Dr. Jagan, that with effect from August the 1st, the crossing at Demerara, Barbies, and Wisma is free of cost. Comrades, I'm going to save the chair of proceedings. I want you to loudly send a signal to every detractor, distractor, to every part of evil and evil force that try to destroy the PPP. Send the message of life. Long live the People's Progressive Party. Long live Guyana. Forward together. Strong We are better together. Let there be no mistake. This People's Progressive Party is grounded in the people. And you cannot uproot the people, because we will defend the people with our roots of love, our roots of love, our roots of development, our roots firmly grounded in service to the people. On that note, I want to now introduce our General Secretary. And let me tell you, I don't know if he can get a Thursday press conference or what he can do today. But I can guarantee you, whatever he does on any given day is always in the interest of the people and always in the interest of this party. And make no mistake, we stand solidly in unity in the People's Progressive Party. No sword or swords, as pointed as they want it to be, can ever tear the unity of the People's Progressive Party. So with that, General Secretary, take the ring.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Colleagues, friends, the President of Guyana told us many things. He laid out some of the plans for the future, but he did not answer the most pressing question on the minds of the people. Will there be cash grant after he wins the next elections? And the answer is yes. You did not deal with that. Now, the president created the impression that I was keeping him with a rigid timeline. That's not totally true. But we wanted you to go back home early. I think the point has been made already that the PPP is strong, it's united, and it will win the next elections. So I do not want to speak for very long today. I hope that many of you listen to the party's press conference on Thursdays at 2 o'clock, because that's where every single week we lay out our plans for the future and we take on the criticism, the unfair criticism that have been hurled our way. And so today, I just want to say that this is a pivotal year for the future of the country. It is a year in which the decisions that you make would either take us back to incompetence and divisiveness, or to a future, a glorious future of prosperity, unity, and progress. And that's why politics are not won, elections are not won by single speeches. They're won by hard work, and hard work back in the communities from which you've come. Every community in Guyana. And that's why I'm relying on every single one of you to leave with the message that you've heard here, the message that you have lived in the past 4.5 years, what you have seen around you, the commitment to fulfilling the promises that we made in 2020. And we expect you to not only take that message to your neighbors and your communities, but work every single day from now until the elections are called to ensure that the PPP has an overwhelming victory at the next elections. This is my expectation of you. I did not come here to give a long speech or to make, to lay out what we have done. Now, often it seems that we are fighting against an invisible enemy. You don't see the opposition as prevalent as they were before. But do not be deluded. If you grow arrogant and if you don't put in the hard work, we can have surprises. They are invisible. They're not doing much, but quietly they continue to spread the racist messages that they have grown accustomed to using in campaigning. First of all, they're talking quietly in the communities, saying the PPP is a racist party, and then they're trying to shame Afro-Guyanese who have consciously seen this party as the only party of the future. They're trying to shame them by calling them names to keep them away from us, because they know once we grow stronger in the Afro-Guyanese communities in this country, the PPP becomes even more invincible than we are today. So we have to be cautious about this. We have to ensure that this quiet campaigning doesn't work by exposing them to what they're doing. They call Afro-Guyanese the vilest names. Now, they didn't spare Roger Luncheon or Shirley Edwards or Cyril Belgrave or Clinton Collymore or Philomena Sahai, who were there from the beginning struggling with us. They used to be called those names too. Soup drinkers, all sorts of things, slave catchers, etc. But those people were valuable members of our party. They helped to shape this party. And you know, you've seen it. When you come to the PPP, you see the heart of the PPP. When you listen to Cheddi Jagan from the quote of those young people, 1964, the worst year in the history of this country, maybe one of the worst years, because the British had inspired a riot in the country at that time. In the worst year, Cheddi Jagan spoke about national unity, the need to bring people together. He spoke about the messages that they carry, that they will go to the Afro-Guyanese communities and say, everything is being done in Indo-Guyanese communities, and they do the same thing in reverse. What happened with the AFC and APNU? In 2015, it was the same message. They go to the Amerindian communities and say, PPP does everything for Afro-Guyanese and Indo-Guyanese, and they're neglected. Then they go to Linden and say, look at Berbice, they get everything, sugar, get all the help, etc., forgetting that we are putting in $5 billion into subsidy in Linden, but they would ignore that. Then they come to Berbice and say, look, they're building a new call center in Linden. They do everything for Afro-Guyanese. Cheddi Jagan spoke of that in 1964. They're working up to now with the same playbook. It's predictable.
what they're doing. And he condemned the racism because he always fought to bring people together. And I must say, today I'm extremely proud. We were always, as General Secretary of this party, we always fought to dispel the rumors that this is a racist party, but that served them well in the past. In opposition, we said, we will change the nature of this party. We're strong in the Indo-Guyanese communities. We're going strong in the Amerindian communities because of the work that we have done. And we will make a dedicated effort to go stronger in the Afro-Guyanese communities. And President Ali, under his leadership, has led since we got into office to ensure that every community is touched. Now everyone has seen this. Every Guyanese, people who supported the PNC because they actually believe that they cared about people. Now those supporters see that they were always making fake promises in the past. They cared about no one but themselves and the leadership. And so people know that this is a trustworthy party. We went to the elections with promises. The children's grant, we did it. The doubling the old age pension. 50,000 house lots, we were already at 41,000. 20,000 scholarships, we gave out 50,000 scholarships already. 60,000 new jobs. All of these because people are losing jobs in droves. The joint services got back their bonus. We removed the 200 taxes that they had put on people. We put back money into the sugar industry. We removed the 3 taxes they put on the miners. We started getting work back into Region 10 where the 1,000 bauxite workers lost their jobs. You ask the farmers, the rice farmers. Now just this crop we have supported the paddy price. Every group of Guyanese, regardless of their race, have seen that the PPP stands by its word, that our word is our bond. And when we make these promises that President Ali spoke about in the next term, you bet that they will be delivered, that we'd have the best health care in anywhere in the world, because the 12 hospitals that we're building now, we'd hire 8,000 people to make them functional right across this country, including specialists, that every young person can apply for and get a house lot in the next term. And in all the regions, although we have a backlog in Region 4, we'll be able to move faster in the other regions because we've already, this year, the president has given instruction to ensure that that happens, that you're going to get better paying jobs, a world-class education in the next term. The infrastructure that the president spoke of, you'll be able to drive from Molson Creek all the way to the airport on a 4-lane road. You'd have a power plant in West Coast that would cut electricity prices by 50% and cooking gas prices by 50%. We're now awarded a $500 million US contract to transmit the power from Wales all the way to Molson Creek so everyone can share the benefits of this country. That's what we're working towards in the next term. You'd have a diversified economy so that even if the oil sector does not contribute massively to national development or oil prices fall, we can maintain the prosperity. You will get your cash grants in the future too, as the president just said. So I can go on. We've defined what has happened, but we've also said we want to define the financial products that you can invest in. So when you get your cash grant in the future, you can put it in an instrument, a financial instrument that the government will create, that it will underwrite. It will give you a guarantee rate of return than the money if you place it in the bank. All of this will empower people, young people especially, to own things. More and more support for local contractors. We were practically completed almost all the community roads. We have to do the drains. In this region alone, there are 125 community grounds. We are fixing all of them. 22 of those grounds this year will have lights. Lights. In Georgetown, there are 34. We're fixing all of them, and all of them would have lights. And this is a story of the whole country. So, recreation for young people, that's what you're going to look forward to. Safety in your home, because security is important to us. We are now investing in some of the modern technological tools. When the president spoke of a digital society, it is not just to ensure that we can deliver better services to people, like the pensioners could have their pension paid directly into their account. You can sit in your home and open through an app a bank account but also the cameras we're putting up, the intelligence that we're investing in would ensure that we know who is in our country. At any moment, we can track criminals so you can live safely in your own home. Security is an important issue. All of those have started, and just imagine, 4.5 years we've delivered that. We started all of these things, although there was no plan when we got into office, and we did it with COVID. We had to take care of people in COVID. Just imagine the next term in office, how glorious that will be, how inclusive it will be. This is what you can expect of us in the next term in office. So, but we have to be cautious. The APNU AFC, they are weak. I see Nigel Hughes now selling a vehicle. The man posted he's selling a Honda CRV on his page. So I said, why would the leader of a political party, although a leader who has no traction whatsoever, sell a vehicle on his party page? Why not get someone else to sell your vehicle? So then, you know what I came up with? This guy is a smart guy. Nobody paying attention to him. He went to Linden and said his ancestors sent him to talk to the people of Linden. The ancestors forget to tell the people to show up to the meeting. So he didn't show, nobody showed up. He went to Blackbush Polder recently to talk about rice. So the people, Ramjatan was here to him. The people could give Ramjatan a cussing. They said to him, why are you here now? You're wasting our time. He said, well, it's not me anymore. This is the man, Nigel Hughes. He was the chairman of the AFC when they became the most corrupt party ever in the history of this country. And when they participated with APNU in destroying not only the country, but this very region. The sugar workers and rice farmers. Sugar and rice are the two most important things in this region. When you have an assault on them, you damage the disposable income of the entire region, thereby affecting people's prosperity. We have converted that back. The president laid out the disposable income, the deposits in the banking system, and how those have grown because you have 60,000 people working, but in this region, 10,000 people who are not working in 2020 now have a job because of the People's Progressive Party. So let me tell you what I came up with, why he posted the thing. So they have a hard time attracting people. So he put, you'll get it at a low price. So imagine 10 people hear that and they call. Then they would say, you know, can you join the AFC? It's a gimmick. The man is smart here, fun. This is a smart man. He posts a low price vehicle. The other one posting a high price vehicle that you don't pay taxes on. He pays a low price. He posted a low price vehicle on the page to attract people to come to him. What kind of action? These are amateurs. They're not ready for the big league. They don't talk about people. It's their ego. They don't care anything about ordinary people. One wants to avoid sunshine, you want to form a political party. These here will come back to you. You know what? Instead of being repentant, if you're repentant, people might give you a second chance. Look at the court case now going on. They're trying to say that it is PPP that tried to rig the 2020 elections, the same Nigel Lewis. They have not moved away from this archaic, this outdated, this useless mentality of trying to steal people's votes, not work for it. We work for people's votes, this party, by fulfilling our promises, by taking care of their children, by taking care of the elderly, by creating jobs. But for them, it is bully people, you call them names, or alternatively steal their votes. That's how they campaign. So on the same people are saying there was a reason why they had to take away the children money, cut the water subsidy from the pensioner, not fulfill any of their promises. You know what was their explanation? The fiscal imperatives. Nigel Lewis and Norton don't have a clue about fiscal imperatives. The fiscal imperatives meant that they were taking the 1.6 billion that was going for the children grant and put it to dietary in government to eat the money up. They took away the 600 million that went to subsidize the water for pensioners, and they put it in buying new vehicles at the office of the president alone. So they had the money because they increased taxes by $90 billion. But what did they spend it on? They definitely didn't spend it on roads, hospitals, schools, farm-to-market roads, or anything else. They spent it on themselves. They used the money to send ministers and their families to Ireland for medical care, which we discontinue. They use it to get higher per diem. These are the things. They took a 50% salary increase for themselves the first year they got into office, when the public servants that they love so much got a 6% increase that very year. Since we got into office, public sector workers have seen a 500 million US increase per year in their wages and salaries. And the facts are there. You can examine it. They can't dispute it. So every group has benefited. And therefore, the elections are going to be clearly about who people can trust. So now they're coming up with new promises. The new promises are, we will increase public sector wages by 200%. So we got only about 40% of this budget is funded from oil money. But they would like to say that the budget is all oil money. It's not true. 60% of the budget, over 60%, is not funded from oil money. All the oil money in the budget this year can't fund the wages increase that they promised for the public service alone. So if they do that, assuming they do that, they don't have any other money for pensioners, for farmers, for the bauxite workers, anybody else. They can't build roads, you can't build hospitals. This is unsustainable, it's stupid. They operate through slogans. You hear Norton people-centered development. You heard Cheddi Jagan in 1993. The young lady spoke about that. People-centered development in practice, because we're trying to give them the things that matter so they can come out of poverty. A good education, solid health care, access to housing, a job, security in their homes. These are important things for everyone, young people and old people alike. And this is what the PPP is about. And that's why we've been so successful. I'm tempted, I said it already, I don't want to speak for long today, because you would have a chance to listen to many Thursdays to the press conferences, because we're going to, let me tell you, this is a different PPP now. We've grown strong over the years, and we're battle tested. I remember in the days when we were at Ministry of Finance, I was minister under Cheddi Jagan, and they burned the building at the back. and we refused to come out of the front building. They blocked the gates, and I had my staff climb over the fence. If Fanali might know about one gentleman who is about 400 pounds, he tried to climb over the fence. Not Irfan. It's not Irfan. You see how Irfan looks slim and nice? No, not Irfan. Another one at finance. I don't want to call his name today. And then he got stuck on the fence. And even the protesters started laughing because they had blocked the gate. We come from that. When Desmond Hoyt used to put 5,000 people on the streets in a single moment, they fought, they supported the criminals in Buxton to wreak havoc on the country. They tried rigging elections. They sought to use the courts to thwart the will of the people in the last elections. But we are a resilient, strong party, and we have grown in breadth and depth. We have grown in support. As we said before, Irfan said, this is not a Hindu party. It's not a Muslim party. It's not a Christian party. It's a party of Hindus, Muslims, and Christians, and everyone else. It's not an Indian party, African party, Amerindian mixed people party. It's a party of everyone, all of them together. And that's an instruction from Cheddi Jagan, who we're celebrating here. That's what he fought for all of his life. And so it warms my heart now to see people of every race who never wanted to come to Freedom House in Georgetown because they thought we used to kill people of different races there. That's what the rumor they spread about us. Come there now. They've seen the heart of this party. You're part of this family once you come to us. And when you work for the future of the country, and because we're embracing everyone, because we're inclusive, that's why elections in the future are going to be won by the PPP. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. They can come up with anything. They can put Norton as a candidate. They can put Trotman as a candidate. I don't know where he is now. Well, what Nigel used. They put another Elson Lowe, whatever. So they can put anybody except God, because God is sacred. But anybody else we could beat. Anybody else except God, we can beat. And that they can put everyone that they want there. So when they monkey around, oh, we're forming a coalition again. A coalition for what? Losing the elections? A coalition for what? What are you going to tell people? You're unrepentant. You harassed them. You took away benefits from them. And now you're going to, we love you again because election time come around. You think they're going to be fooled by these wild promises? Nonsense. Pure nonsense. People know their number already. So when they come around, smile with them, be nice to them and say, go away from here, boy. And some of them believe your Facebook like, because a man click on your like, they like some vehicle. Then they're going to vote for you. You don't have a clue about anything. Clueless. And they would vote for you. If that was the case, Critic would have been the biggest politician and political party in the country. Because he getting click every day. People like the entertainment, the joke. Some like the cussing. We don't endorse cussing and stuff like that for anything. But this is how they operate. The people are smart. Yesterday, I had several community meetings, and I was saying to people, at 11:30 we started in the day, a hot Saturday when people have to go to market, and we had crowds at every one of our meetings. Which political party can hold a meeting at 11:30 in the day and get people? They don't get it even in the afternoon when people are retired. This is a strength, and it comes from what we stand for. We stand for enduring principles. We stand for national unity. We stand for progress. We stand for bringing people together. We have a vision of the future that's clearly outlined. No other party has a vision of the future. If you don't have a vision, you don't know where you want to take the country, You can't have supported policies and programs. They don't have a single plan for anything in any sector. You talk to Irfan Ali or any minister, we can outline all of our plans here, today, now. We don't have to go and look for a textbook or come up with, we're going to be working on one in the future. That is how we approach it. So, for all of those NGOs type who are haters of the PPP, the GHRA, the GT, the Transparency Institute, the Red Threads, etc., they never know who fought for freedom in this country. They never one day went to Linden or Aishalton to talk to people or come to Port Morant. They don't come out. They sit in Georgetown in a single office. They get money from abroad and they get publicity in Starbuck News and some other papers, right? And they write editorials there. And they judge the country. They talk about fighting for democracy and principles, but they all stayed quiet when APNU was rigging or trying to rig the elections in 2020. You know who mattered to us? It's the activists who stood up. We people who stood with us, who guarded the containers to ensure that APNU couldn't steal the containers or damage them. It's the young men and women and the not so young from Region 5 who have pellets in their bodies. 80-something pellets in their bodies who stood up and confronted the PNC when they tried to rig the elections. You think we would worry about what they say and the press association or whatever with the haters of the PPP? That's why you have to be dismissive of them. They would say, Jagdeo cussing the NGOs. Well, yes, I'm cussing them. It's these NGOs we're cussing. Not the ones that support progress. The ones that work with children, they've seen their subvention grow by 5-fold since we got into office. The one that work with farmers or people to educate them, they can get support from us, the NGOs. But these haters of the PPP, we will fight them. So when we fight, they say, oh, the PPP is too aggressive. Well, if you come after us, as I said before, we're going to defend our legacy. We're going to strongly defend our legacy. Don't come after us. Don't come after us and they misrepresent us if you don't want to get the response. Because gone are the days when they control everything and lied about us. That is what kept this country divided a long time. These naysayers, every day, every single day they're at it because they are as worried as the APNU and AFC about national unity. Because if there is national unity, there is no space for them. They can't collect money from abroad to create dissent among our people. That is an important thing. So when you're going to see tomorrow, they're going to do 2 editorials. I don't care. We're going to defend our party. We're going to defend the ordinary people of this country. We're going to create opportunities for the business community, for young people, for workers, for everyone. We're an all-inclusive party, every class, every race, every religion, every gender. That's what makes us strong. And so I wanted you to go back home early. It's Ramadan too. Many of you have to break fast. And please tune in on Thursday. Let's continue the conversation. We have a young leader who will be contesting the next election again. And you compare him with the others. God, it's like comparing a giant with nothing. He is proficient in every area. He represents us at the United Nations with distinction. He deals cleverly to keep our borders intact in dealing with the Venezuelan matter. He is laid out. He knows the details of development program. He's a people's person. You don't got no sour face all the time like some of them have. and he's smart. He can string two words together. He can string more than two words together. That is the man who will be leading the people's slate of candidates. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming out and joining us in celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Cheddi Jagan. Please take your time and get to your homes safely. God bless.
Look down from your window, no big city lights, just greenery. I don't know what you come for.
Our duty with blows from the British and even our own. Guyana never stopped being a place to call home. They rigged and rigged, but we stayed because endured terror and repression. What a heavy cross. It is time to rally for we party and country. Vote for the PPPC. It is time to rally for we party and country. Vote for the PPPC. I am free, I am me, I have the right, vote for the PPPC. Oh yeah, I am free, oh yes, I am me, I have the right, vote for the PPPC. We sing this song for our beloved Cheddi, yeah. Oh, oh, and the countless others who serve for this country, yeah. Oh, oh. Good will always win against all the evil, and no breeze cannot come and blow out. We can go. Our love and loyalty to this country outshines our mineral wealth and its beauty. It is time to rally for we party and country. Vote for the PPPC. It is time to rally for we party and country. Vote for the PPPC. I am free, I am me, I have the right, vote for the PPPC. Oh yeah, I am free, oh yes, I am me, I have the right, vote for the PPPC. So put on your gears and be battle ready, yeah. Oh, oh. This country needs our beloved party, yeah. Oh, oh. 65 years, yeah, we played a part, and all of our service comes straight from the heart. Let's take the charge, yeah, my brother and sister, in defense of a strong and secure Guyana. It is time to rally for we party and country. Vote for the PPPC. It is time to rally for we party and country. Vote for the PPPC. I am free, I am me, I have the right, vote for the PPPC. Oh yeah, I am free, oh yes, I am me, I have the right, vote for the PPPC. Vote for the... Not once did we flinch, or 1850 we in the service of this blessed country. Not once did we flinch or abandon our duty, no, our duty, with blows from the British and even our own. Guyana never stopped being a place to call home. They rigged and rigged, but we stayed because endured terror and repression. What a heavy cross. It is time to rally for we party and country. Vote for the PPPC. It is time to rally for we party and country. Vote for the PPPC. I am free, I am me, I have the right, vote for the PPPC. Oh yeah, I am free, oh yes, I am me, I have the right, vote for the PPPC. We sing this song for our beloved Cheddi, yeah. Oh, oh, and the countless others who serve for this country, yeah. Oh, oh. Good will always win against all the evil, and no breeze cannot come and blow out. We can do. Our love and loyalty to this country outshines our mineral wealth and its beauty. It is time to rally for we party and country. Vote for the PPPC. It is time to rally for we party and country. Vote for the PPPC. I am free, I am me, I have the right, vote for the PPPC. Oh yeah, I am free, oh yes, I am me, I have the right, vote for the PPPC. So put on your gears and be battle ready, yeah. Oh, oh. This country needs our beloved party, yeah. Oh, oh. For over 65 years, yeah, we played a part, straight from the heart. Let's take the charge, yeah, my brother and sister. It's the defense of a strong and secure Guyana. It is time to rally for we party and country. Vote for the PPPC. It is me. I have the right vote for the PPPC.
When you cover the elections, you typically expect that the day is going to be peaceful, that the count's going to be peaceful, and for the most part it was. But the chaos that ensued, it was something that I was wholly